Blessings, brothers and sisters, friends and enemies. Thank you for joining me for an impromptu video today on the 7th of July. Had a lot of disappearing comments that happened with my Go Canada video that dropped yesterday on the 6th. Surprisingly so, some of the comments that disappeared were mine to you replying, as well as, well, we'll get to that in a minute, but give this a listen.
The last time you interviewed me was actually, I think, in about mid-April, and this was soon after I had sent my open letter to Dr. Bonnie Henry, which got me into quite a lot of trouble.
Speaking of trouble, let's not get this channel in any more trouble than it's already in. Again, I'll put the link so you can watch the rest of that below, but I do want to draw your attention to this interaction I had with one of my longtime subscribers that unfortunately either misinterpreted what I was saying or my intentions or the whole concept of who I am and what I'm about. They took their ball and went home. Appreciate your time. I'll see you next video.
I was asking good questions at that time. One of the things...
Interesting interaction with Al Loam this morning. What did I listen to? Canada Day, Veterans Day. I lost the majority of my family to freedom. Sorry you feel they were fodder. Hope you enjoyed the freedom they gave their lives for. The Anglican and Presbyterian churches also had a hand in this. As a Canadian with French, Indian, English DNA, also a background of service in my life and my family, I am only disgusted by the virtual signaling of those who did not know about this. This was known history. This is present history. Those who are acting appalled by this, they are delusional and the problem. We knew. Only those surprised, shocked, never listened or read. Discrimination is a real issue today in Canada. Look at your thumbnail. I understand the blackface, the headdress, but why the other two? I have suffered discrimination as an Irish person, French speaker, native background. The native and Irish being predisposed to trauma is from addiction, not race. It is also present in a human who suffers child prenatal trauma. Read Gabor Mate, or Gabor Mate. Like taking Canada Day to educate ourselves. Too late, we already knew. Sickening. It's not race, it's wealth and privilege. If any two Canadians were stopped by the law, one poor, one rich, who will suffer indignation, abuse, and overreach. This is true. I agree with many salient points on that. Obviously, I didn't touch on every single religion that was involved, but I responded. Bless up, brother. Did you bother to watch the Remembrance Day reboot? The link at the end of the video. That was from 2007, and I basically started that video with a huge acknowledgement to my own family, friends, near and far, who've sacrificed their lives or had issues arise because of the bullshit of freedom. Not to mention my own foray into the military as an air cadet back in the day. But society, it seems, is so easy to be played into the dichotomy as evidence throughout history. But if you think that what GovCorp does when it engages in those worldwide conflicts is not by design, then you are sadly mistaken, as all those who stood up for freedom are nothing more than pawns in a global game of risk. And that's what I believe. Again, in the Remembrance Day reboot, it talks about how the bankers utilize fucking nations' armies to do their biddings. Why the thumbnail? Well, GT is a joke, as is much of society, so it goes hand in hand. It's nonsensical to me. I could have used any meme of fucking Justin Timberlake. As well, we are kind of aware of discrimination, as I, being white, am looked down upon and endure racism for atrocities committed by GovCorp and certain individuals, mostly based upon what happened once upon a time ago. And explicitly, I am talking about out here in this highly native population area. I'm also aware of Gabor's work as well, but I'm compelled to form my own opinion, much like the current flu. Many salient points were touched upon in this video. The point of it of it was this type of cultural genocide has existed for eons and will continue to do so. Also, the Brene link at the end of the video shows how they pit us up against each other. You flow is how you do, I do. Individuals make up society, not the other way around. Dead fish always go with the flow, it seems. How would be today? So, Al thinks I'm calling him a dead fish. Am I a dead fish? Seeing as I'm familiar with the science of addiction and trauma, but you formed your own opinion. Okay. And the freedom from the tyrants you now fear were historical figures. Canadians fought in the past. Easy to forget, I understand. Also easy to dismiss. You have your opinions. There we go with me and my opinions again. I wish to simply show you an alternate. Not sure why that made me a dead fish. Best wishes, as you say, such vitriol is traumatizing as much as the others we discuss. Thanks for the discussion. I have some floating to do. And I commented with, so in my response, all you get is I'm referring to you personally as a dead fish, eh? Whereas I allude to society as a whole being a dead fish. If that is your interpretation, so be it. As for addiction, been there, done that as a intravenous drug-using teenage addict, but obviously my journey does not quantify to the magnitude of his struggles. And we've always lived under tyranny, and since Al was a former banker, he should know the evils of that cabal. Again, myriadly repeated ad nauseum in the Remembrance Day reboot video. Thanks for showing more than I expected, because I didn't expect that kind of feedback. You know, your family and friends lost their lives to fight for our freedom, but you're a smart enough individual to know that those fights for our freedom were nothing more than taking care of business, moving people around, getting access to supplies. All right. Thanks for showing more than I expected, like I said. And enjoy your trip downstream, brother. So that's that, eh? Fun times.